If you're modeling the Penn Central Railroad, unless it's one of its smallest branch lines, you're probably going to want to include multiple unit lash-ups on the fronts of your trains. Trains that have several locomotives at the head end just look great and certainly reflect the Penn Central power era. Another reason to have more than one locomotive on your train is to avoid a very prototypical problem of tonnage versus power. I'm recreating this scene on my layout that actually happened once with one RSD-12 trying to pull a small train up the grade, slipping and stalling. I had a little fun with it for a blog post entry and imagined that 68, 65 had broken down and was being rescued by its sister unit. So after that failure of one locomotive on the Hilda Marion, I have decided from now on that any train dispatched from West Mill with RSD-12 equipment will have both units at the head end. Here we have a Kingsport turn heading out of West Mill Yard, and it's guaranteed to make it up to the summit of the Kingsport division. My West Mill Yard is a fictional facility that I imagine is located somewhere in the middle of the river division between Weehawken and Selkirk. Trains coming from the south from Weehawken, as well as trains from the north from Selkirk, stop at West Mill to drop off cars. They're usually powered by 2 or 3 large 6-axle U-boats. Those are Athearn units that run well together. I recently purchased 6552, an Atlas U33C that doesn't run well with my Athearn units, so I pair it up with a dummy Athearn GP38-2. This isn't a problem because this train drops off a large number of its cars at West Mill and can continue running on the rest of the layout without fear of stalling. I'd read once that the Penn Central liked to match the tractive power of the GEs with the speed of the EMD units. Here's the 2 units shown from a previous video bringing a train into West Mill. Big power is usually the order of the day from Selkirk, but when there's the occasional power shortage, how's about a 4-unit consist of first-generation locomotives, F7As, with a pair of GP9s in between? Well, despite the Penn Central's sometime approach of deferred maintenance, these 4 old locomotives seem to be doing just fine at West Mill. After dropping off a cut of cars at West Mill, the rest of the train proceeds to Weehawken. The F7A and GP9 at the head ends are powered Athearn units, and the GP9 and F7 at the rear are Athearn dummies. I have several Athearn powered and unpowered chassis, so I can switch out locomotive shells on these to create a variety of lash-ups. The Athearn GP38-2 with the orange C that was a dummy before with the big U-boat is now a powered unit with a powered F7B in a classic Penn Central lash-up. Of course, the Penn Central RAN consists of identical units. Here's 3 GP38-2s. Well, let's move on from Athearn to Atlas. A few years ago, FP7s like this used to be really available in flea markets and eBay auctions. These are yellow box units circa 1980 or so. I ended up buying 3 of these really good running units. Here's a pair of FP7s working as a helper set, leaving Kingsport. They'll help push a train up the grade to Marion. The train is going to be powered by 2 more Atlas yellow box units, another FP7, my third, and a GP38 that I bought as an undecorated unit and lettered for the Penn Central. The GP38 and the FP7 are hauling a heavy train loaded with steel coils. Kingsport and Western likes these bread box trough cars, also called clamshell cars. They purchased them from the P&LE and the B&LE. You can see the caboose coming up, being shoved from behind by the helper set of FP7s. That's 4 Atlas yellow box locomotives working flawlessly together up grades and around curves. About a half hour later, another train is seen working its way up the hill. And it encounters the helper set, coming back down after finishing its shove. The 2 locomotives at the head end of that second train are both Bachmann units. 8150 is a GP38-2. That's a GP30 in its New York Central livery. Both of them run pretty well together, so I tend to put them on the head ends of local trains that do switching, like the Kingsport turn. Here they roll by on a caboose hop. I have a similar consist made up of Bachmann GP30 2212, still in its PRR scheme, and Bachmann's GP40 number 3007. Here the pair work together to show off their stuff, doing a slow switching move at the Canton Box Company. Oddly enough, the 2 Bachmann GP30s, the New York Central and Pennsylvania units, don't run well together at all. Well, here's a combination I've seen in several prototype photos of the Penn Central, an FP7 and an F7A. Well, now here's a surprise. That's a 20-year-old Athearn GP9 and a just-purchased Bachmann GP9 working very nicely together, taking a small way freight out of West Mill. Bachmann's GP9 number 7085 I bought on an online clearance sale. Got a great price. It's a good runner. It's going to be great for switching. The next consist is an F7A GP9B, which I kit bashed myself, and F7A combo. This kind of consist was often run by the Penn Central with trains coming off its Boston and Maine line. Wrapping it up, here's a look at 2 Bachmann F7Bs that I recently got on clearance for $20 a piece. I'll be painting those F7B units Penn Central black to make a nice ABBA consist. Well, that's it for today, but it's been fun showing you some examples of the various consists that I put together on my Penn Central layout. EMD, Alco, and GE, courtesy of Atherin, Atlas, and Bachmann. One of the fun things about modeling the Penn Central is its wide variety of motor power and some of the really interesting lash-ups that they put together. Thanks for watching.